Correct. I was never that high on Gorsuch. I've had a continuing argument with my friends about who thought Gorsuch would be the better one. No, Kavanaugh, and Alito, and the great Alito, both of whom dissented. It's another example I describe in my book, Mugged, I might add. Civil rights were for African Americans, people who had been enslaved, people who had been subjected to Jim Crow laws. I know a lot of conservatives especially get sick of hearing about it because it seems to be used, at least by the certain activists and liberals, to, the history being used to harm white people, to harm our country, to riot, to loot. Put that aside. There is this one group we actually owe something to. After, the 100 years of Jim Crow laws enforced by the Democrats, and slavery enforced by the Democrats. So Democrats realized things weren't going their way. They'd pretend to be for black civil rights. And before the ink was dry on the 1964 Civil Rights Act, they had already moved on to, let's use it to prevent discrimination against women. Let's use it to prevent discrimination against gays. They dropped blacks in 10 seconds. I do not understand why more foundational blacks in America are not more enraged about their history being piggybacked on by, every group with a grievance. So today it was to interpret the word sex. And I know these days the more common understanding of sex is like a sex shop or something. Gender is a made-up feminist word. It's not a made-up word, but that is what sex means. That is what it has always meant. Sometimes I've used gender in columns and my friends will chide me and say, oh, just use the proper word. The word is sex. Different sexes. It's male sex, female sex. Well, they've interpreted no discrimination based on sex, which, again, should never have been part of the civil rights law to begin with. But there it is, along with, disability, national origin, everything but black people. Well, black people is in there, but that's not most of the civil rights lawsuits that are brought. And they've interpreted sex to mean transgenders and gays. And I'm also glad you brought this up because as I was sitting on hold, flipping through my emails on my Twitter account, I always love these. I've never gotten in trouble for one, but a report was submitted to Twitter about a tweet I sent. And after flipping through the decision and grasping the point of it, I had tweeted out something along the lines of, after today's decision, the only employees you can fire without risking a lawsuit are white
cis males, right?
Heterosexual, cis, young, healthy, American males. Make your hiring decisions carefully. That was reported.
Oh, and I love, by the way, when you get reported, as you know, and I get reported with some frequency too, it's great because it knows that you're above the target, and they don't like taking the incoming you're giving them on Twitter. But yeah, I get reported for all kinds of crazy things. I want to ask though, because Ann, you are also somebody who knows the law. You clerk for a federal judge. You have spent time working in the legal profession. It seems to me now that one thing that conservatives have been a little iffy on for a while has now been decided for them by the 6-3 decision. If someone is in my place of work and they are a transgender male to female, let's say, and so, Bob changes his name now to Susie, and Susie wants to be called a her, and I have to use the female pronoun. It is my understanding now that I would risk a lawsuit if I did not comply in the workplace.
Yes, including by the United States Civil Rights Commission. As I mentioned very quickly when I was complaining about the 1964 Civil Rights Act being just basically used as a Christmas present for every group with a grievance other than, but technically, if you're African American and discriminated against, you can use the Civil Rights Act. But I looked up, I put it in my book Mugged, I looked up the percentage of lawsuits brought by the U.S. or brought to the U.S. Civil Rights Commission, and which, special group, not including people like you, Buck, sorry,
yeah.
but I could slip in as a gyno-American. No, the majority of them weren't on behalf of African Americans. This is what I think. I don't like libertarians. I think Barry Goldwater was wrong, but I think Republicans should have made a bigger deal of this is for black people. We owe them something. Thanks to you, Democrats. Thanks to you, 100 years of discriminating against them legally. The government in some of these Democrat states discriminating against black people. We owe them something. It's not supposed to be a general anti-healthy young white male bill.
What happens? We're speaking to Ann Coulter, 13-time New York Times best-selling author. Check out all of her various books on Amazon. And what comes next? Because it seems to me that now what is being, first of all, they said that sex didn't mean in the Civil Rights Act of 1964 that Title VII did not mean sex to be LGBTQ, right? They even said this. They're clear. But then now they're saying, well, we've decided that it is LGBTQ just because we think that's the right outcome. It seems to me that the next step after this just turns into every Christian-affiliated organization that has any, that they're basically in, ACLU and all the rest of them are coming for the churches after this. And they're just going to sue them into oblivion. That's what it seems like is going to happen to me.
And girls' sports, I don't know how you avoid that either. If only we had a functioning Republican Party in this country, they would make a big deal of this. But damn well they will not do a thing. No, they'll just keep, who knows, moving the embassy or something, cutting taxes for Wall Street.
What are they doing? You know the Republican folks, Ann. What are they doing?
What are they doing?
Yeah, what are they doing?
Well, the leader of the Republican Party is sitting on his bed eating cheeseburgers, tweeting, "Law and order."
Which is not going to be good enough, unfortunately.
Stop the riots. Everything's peaceful now.
I see. Somehow it seems to me that Joe Biden, and if we just transition for a second into the electoral prospects here, Joe Biden is with each passing day, I feel like he's in a stronger position. We have had the most blatant gaslighting, hypocritical switch from COVID kills people if you're in public to, unless it's a big riot. Now back to when Trump rallies are coming, COVID kills people in public. We've got riots in cities, burning down stores, looting going on. Prominent Democrats are going along with this defund the police stuff. And how is it that Republicans aren't the only safe harbor for all sane people in this storm, man? That's what I don't understand.
Yes. I've never seen an election like this where it's not a question of of who has the better arguments or is capturing the national mood. Now it's a question of which party loses first or most. I just tweeted before I came on with you. The reports are that tomorrow Trump is going to unveil his police accountability bill, where he's going to accuse police forces across America of systemic racism. And one of the speakers is this activist black man who, look at what he's been tweeting about Trump. He's a pimp and a liar and this scumbag. Oh, please come to the White House. Before the riot started, I was privately telling my friends, Trump's going to lose, don't want to depress the vote. I'm not going to say it publicly, but it's over. It was good country. And then the riots came, and even though Trump has been Louis the 16th doing nothing and letting our country burn, tweeting law and order, it comes down to a binary choice. I mean, if the Democrats are going to be Black Lives Matter and defund the police and our only other choice is Trump, I was thinking, okay, they're just going to keep this up because they're trying to lose the election. But then, you're you're coming around the bend, and Trump leaps out, and he's going to believe in systemic racism now. So it's just which one can do more to enrage the American people.
Ann Coulter, everybody. Check out her latest column coming up this Wednesday, AnnCoulter.com. Ann, thank you so much. Always appreciate making the time for us.
Good to talk to you, Buck. Bye-bye.
So I've got some thoughts on the that shooting in Atlanta with a cop over the weekend that's creating a lot of trouble, and also just more of the defund the police stuff, including what's going on here with a switch in policing in the city that I think is going to have a major effect, a major impact on safety here. That's coming up right after we take a moment. But our immune systems could use a boost these days. That's why I've added Balance of Nature's.
We will make America great again.